Hey there, I hope you're well. I hope your second week of 2024 has gone well. It is our second week, or the end of our second week, so that means I'm sending out my second tips video. And today we're going to be looking at something a little bit more complicated. We're going to be looking at the variables that affect how a ball, moves in the air, and ultimately the direction that a ball might go. It is, for me, really important to understand, why we hit a certain shot, and then hopefully this video can give you a little bit more clarity in, perhaps why you've sliced one or why you've hooked one. And I think if you can understand, what causes the shots, it definitely gives you the best possible chance of being able to change that, and certainly for me, make fixes when you're out on the golf course. So the number one thing with what we're speaking about today is that strike is king. So all of this is assuming that you strike the ball centrally out the middle of the face. The reason I say that is when you do strike the ball out the toe and out the heel of the golf club, it will affect the direction the golf ball starts and fundamentally finishes. So everything that I'm about to say, is all assuming that that strike comes out the middle of a club face, which is really, really important to understand when we're looking at what we're about to. So for me, assuming that the strike is absolutely out the middle of the face, there's two main variables that will affect the direction that golf ball goes. And we're talking about start direction, curvature, and finish direction as a result. So the number one variable is the club face. And for me, what I mean by that is we're looking at the alignment of this club face at impact. So quite simply, I'm going to pop this yellow cane down just to show you. What I'm talking about is when you return this club back to the ball, where is this club face pointing? Is it pointing at a target? Is it pointing right of her target? Or is it pointing left of her target, somewhere over there? Now, for me, where that club face is pointing at impact will fundamentally affect where the golf ball starts. I would say that club face is the majority attribute of start line, start direction. Like I say, this is all assuming that a strike is out the middle of the face. So because of that, if we were to strike one and see that our ball starts right of our target, left of our target, we can start to understand exactly where this face is pointing at the point of impact with the golf ball. So really important, assuming the strike is central, where that ball starts generally is where that face alignment will be at impact. The next variable that we've got is then the swing path. Now, this is the direction that the club head is actually traveling at the point of impact. Now, for me, you're going to get three main swing paths. You're going to get what we call an out to in swing path, meaning that the club head is working from the outside of the golf ball across and into the inside. You're going to get an in to out swing path, which is where the club's working from inside the ball to outside the ball as we swipe across the golf ball there. And then you've got what we call an in to in swing path, which is hopefully where this club works from the inside, works down her target line at the point of impact, and then exits left through the golf ball. Now, the path that the club's traveling won't fundamentally affect where that golf ball is going to start. It will have a slight effect on the start line of the golf ball, but fundamentally it's going to be the face that's going to be the biggest attribute to that. But the relationship that the face has to the path will fundamentally affect the curvature that is put onto the golf ball. So what I mean by that, again, using our yellow cane here and using our red cane as a swing path, if our club face is pointing at a target at the point of impact and our swing path is in to win or traveling towards the target at the point of impact, then what we're going to see is we're going to see a perfectly straight shot right down the middle. Now, when the relationship between these two differ, that's when we start to see a change in where the golf ball starts and where the golf ball curves. So again, what we're going to say now is we're going to keep the face pointing to the target. This time what we're going to do is we're going to change our swing path. So now what we've got is at the point of impact, our club face is pointing at the target. However, a swing path is working right of the target or in to out, as I mentioned, what we're now going to see is we're now going to see a shot where, again, the ball starts relatively straight, maybe just right of her target because of the club face. However, because there's a difference between the path and the face, what we're now going to do is we're going to tilt the axis on the golf ball and create a bit of side spin left of her target. So this is where we'll start to see a shot that starts just right or on her target and curves left of her target. We would see that as potentially a hook or a right to left shot. Now, if we were to do that in reverse and swap the path this time so that it goes this way, what we would now see is that out to in swing direction, club face pointing to her target line, and that's where we would see the opposite shot where the golf ball starts straight or just left of her target, and we then see that curvature to the right of her target. So you can see how when there's a difference in the face and path, that's when we start to see the curvature in the golf ball. But you can still see generally when we have that face square to our target, the ball will always start relatively close to our target line. Now, if we were now to change the face so that the face points way right of our target, if we were now to have a swing path even further right of that, what we're now going to see is because the face is pointing right of our target, we're going to see a golf ball that starts, again, way right. However, because our swing path is even further right of where our face is pointing, we're going to see that right to left curvature on the golf ball. So this is where we'll start to see that ball come back on our target line. If we were now to see that swing path go much more down our target line, but the face way open to that, again, we're going to see that ball start right of our target. And because there's now a difference in the face to path relationship, we're going to see that golf ball curve even further to the right. So it can get very complicated, but really if you just put it down to two factors, if you put it down to A, where's the golf ball starting, and then B, where is the ball curving from that point there, you can really start to understand what's going on with the face and what's going on with the swing path at impact. Now, there will always be a factor in the swing that's causing that, and that's our goal, to try and find that and fix that. But again, you can make just little adjustments to help maybe fix one of these factors, especially if you're out on the golf course and you don't have time to create complicated swing thoughts. It maybe is just a case of, right, I might strengthen my grip here. That might help me to return the face back slightly closed as opposed to, open. Or if it's a case of, right, my swing direction is massively out to in, so it's going this way. Right, I'm going to try and feel like I'm swinging the club in this direction here. So understand what the golf ball is doing. Face fundamentally affects where the golf ball is going to start. The relationship between the face and the path will fundamentally affect the curvature on the golf ball. If you can understand those points, watch your ball flight, understand what's going on at impact, you will become a much better golfer. And like I say, you'll be able to control your ball flight characteristics more when you're out on that golf course. So it's a little bit more complicated today, but I hope this video helps. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. I have had a lot of requests, so please keep sending me through, any requests that you might have or any areas that you want me to cover in these weekly, tip videos. Next week, I am definitely going to be looking at putting and the concept of putting. So that's something that, we're going to cover in our next week in our tips videos. But in the meantime, any questions regarding, today's videos, please reach out. But other than that, I hope it helps. Let's go and smash our third week of 2024.